just a leg to keep me coming around. Our house in the middle of our street. Our house in the middle of our house has a crown.
As it currently stands, EPL is Leicester's house. Leicester City currently owns the house. This is the EPL season preview 2016-17. I am your host, Kyle Johnston. This is the block. It's for the late night addicts, early morning coffee drinkers, where we talk some sports, do a little handicapping, break down the games, talk a little pop culture, provide you a little bit of music. Can't get any more English, can't get any more British. The Talking Heads, kicking off the segment. I'm going to jump right into it. We're going to count down. We're going to start with Leicester City, Premier League champions from the EPL last year. We're going to go right down to the newly promoted squads, Middlesbrough, etc. We'll save them for the end. Middlesbrough, Hull City. We'll save them right for the end. We'll talk a little bit of relegation odds. At the top of the table, we'll talk about some odds to see who I like to take home the EPL title. It's going to be a tight race, but there's a few teams that are up there in odds. Arsenal, Leicester being two of them that I don't think we can cross them off the list right now. But there's no sense talking about all that shenanigans and bullshit without breaking down the teams. And obviously, we're going to start with the defending champions, Leicester City, managed by Claudio Ranieri, the Tinkerman. Tinkerman, he's going to have to do a lot of tinkering this fucking year to replicate what they did last year, even just to get Leicester City back in the Champions League, even get Leicester City back into Europa League. I'm looking for them to finish, somewhere between 9th and 11th, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the Champions League, the extended season, is going to definitely take a toll on them. Teams are going to be prepared. They're not going to be shocked by the way Leicester's counterattack basically fucking shocked the entire league last year. Jamie Vardy, Mahrez, and crew fucking counterattacking like sons of bitches last year. Classic fucking United from back in the day. Some of the fucking teams we had to fucking, put against some pretty damn good squads. We had to fucking counterattack. But anyways, Leicester City. So, right now as they stand, 28-1 plus 2,800 to defend their title. They're actually about 14-1 to get relegated. Pretty interesting. The bookmakers have them more favored to be relegated than to be favored to defend their title. But I think they're spot on, the bookmakers. Now, we've already seen N'Golo Kante take off for Chelsea. Jamie Vardy did snub Arsenal. But Riyad Mahrez, their other top player, the little triplets they had that really stepped their game up last year, he was spotted at the same hotel as Conte, the Chelsea manager. Pretty fucking interesting. So the agent was there as well. So a lot of speculation of Riyad Mahrez making a transfer over to the Blues, to the west side of London. And I think that is I think it's a good spot for him. I think his talents are suited for a better club. He doesn't get to play Champions League football, which is probably a little bit of a disappointment on his behalf. But, a good season or two with Chelsea, he'll be back in Champions League football, no problem. I think he's exactly kind of what Chelsea needs. I'm not a Victor Moses fan. Obviously they have Eden Hazard running down the wing. He's pretty fucking solid. Thinking about a couple of the other Chelsea fucking wingers they have right now. Not a whole lot of threats. They signed a couple of those Brazilians, Kennedy and Nathan. They haven't really panned out down the wing. They're pretty stacked in midfield now with Conte and Cesc Fabregas and Matic. But that's Chelsea for another day. Leicester City, on the other hand, has went out and they have replaced their fucking players. We're gonna, we'll go through their transfers. I'll talk about what I think they're gonna do when I do these season previews. So they've lost Conte, Vardy stays. They're going to lose Maez, I think. But Impalas Mende, he's been brought in from Nice. He was the captain at Nice at the age of 22. Played for Ranieri in Monaco, so he's familiar with them. He seems to be a Conte clone. Quiet on the pitch, but works his ass off. He'll cover lots of blades of grass. He should slide in quite nicely, quite smoothly. Obviously, he's going to have to get used to the Premier League. It fucking does move quick at times. But I think his quiet game, he's just going to kind of sit in front of the back four, kind of soak up the grass, soak up any pressure, kind of disrupt the number 10 on the other squad, kind of isolate the other team's striker. I think, but if he gets off to a bad start, the supporters will be on him. The Premier League pundits will be on him. But another interesting, they got a couple interesting players right now. Mohamed. All right. So Musa. Was it Ahmed Musa? Is that his name? Let me just pull it up here. From Seska. Ahmed Musa. I've heard a lot about this kid. I watched him in Seska in Europa League, watched him for Seska in Champions League. He's got a great pedigree in European football, actually. He's put in a lot of caps. He's just a pacey forward. Him and Vardy would be very, very quick on the counterattack for Leicester City. He can play out on the wing. He can cut into the middle off the wing. He can play down the middle as a number 9. Very versatile striker. A little bit more of a direct striker than a guy like Riyad Mahrez that can, do some fancy things on the wing and also cut in on the wing and score goals. Like Mahrez is not your typical number 9. Musa can kind of fill that role. Ben Chilwell, the left back from the academy of Leicester City, is going to be a fun one to watch. He's got it all. The Premier League's developing a lot of young, good fullbacks. There's a lot of good young fullbacks coming up in the Premier League this year, and Ben Chilwell's one to watch. So, they're replacing some positions of weakness. We're going to see what the young kid has. If he gets off to a bad start, confidence will get low. Confidence is a lot in the Premier League. Confidence and mental sharpness. Now it looks like they're going to capture Bartosz Kapustka, a midfielder from Cracovia in the Polish league. He's 19. He's very erratic, but he's got a lot of talent. A lot of room to grow in his boots, but he's got a lot of talent in those boots. He's a nifty, shifty kind of midfielder. It'll be very interesting. Very interesting. So, they've kind of brought those players in. Demarai Gray's another one that's kind of growing. That's going to fill a lot of holes. He's going to get a lot more minutes on the pitch. So Leicester's still going to be fun to watch. They're still going to be competitive. I don't think they're going to get relegated. I don't think they're ever going to be sniffing 15th to 20th. I think they're going to stay around 8th to 12th. I think they're going to finish 9th to 11th, somewhere around there. If I absolutely had a gun to my head, I'd say about 10th place. Maybe 9th. They kind of do, what a Swansea kind of does. I like West Ham better than them. I think Everton kind of rebounds this year. So I do not think Leicester City is going to win. They lost the Community Shield to Manchester United 2-1. First taste of defeat, first taste of reality. This is what it's going to be this year, Leicester. A lot of the big clubs, learned their lessons last year. They spent wisely. They brought in proper managers. They're going to be gunning for it. The likes of City, United, Chelsea, Pep Guardiola, Mourinho, Conte. Fucking Jurgen Klopp's got a better sense of the Premier League with Liverpool. He's going to be gunning. Liverpool's going to be a much better squad this year. I look for Liverpool to finish anywhere between, they're going to be pushing for third at points this season, but I think realistically, they're going to be challenging for that 4th place spot with Arsenal when it's all said and done. But I might as well say it right now when we talk about Leicester and talk about champions. I think it's going to be a battle between the Manchester City clubs. United and City are definitely going to slug it out this year. Pep Guardiola and Mourinho. I think they're going to finish 1-2. Chelsea makes a rebound at the third place position. I look for Tottenham to slip back a little bit, back into Europa League, right where they belong. And Arsenal and Liverpool, I think, are going to battle it out for fourth place, man. And Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, they might be able to just kind of eclipse them. They're putting together a fun squad to watch. I'm a United fan. I absolutely hate Liverpool. I fucking hate the Leafs and I hate Liverpool. But I got to give credit where credit's due. Jurgen Klopp is a quality manager. He does sign quality players. And Liverpool's a fun team to watch right now. A fun team to watch. And I'll get to them a little bit later. So I look for Leicester City to finish about 9th or 10th. Jamie Vardy, I don't think is going to be able to duplicate what he did last year. Big mistake by not taking the Arsenal contract. Jamie Vardy, why not get some consistent Champions League play for a little bit better squad? Arsenal does suit your needs. You can play off the backs of the defenders as well, because Arsenal likes to keep possession of the ball so much in midfield. They like to send those little through balls. They like the little ticky-tacky 1-2s around the top of the box. Would have been a perfect place for you, Jamie Vardy. I give 2 thumbs up to your loyalty. There's not a lot of loyalty left in the sports world, but you probably should have took the Arsenal contract. That's enough with Leicester. My laptop wants to kick in here. Here we go. So the Gunners under Arsene Wenger, they finished 2nd place. And now I'm not an Arsene Wenger fan. I got a lot of respect for him. 20 years on the job in Arsenal. He's doing, not a lot of people can say that, But I, once again, am a United supporter, and I'm a big Sir Alex Ferguson supporter. And the days between, those were the days. Those are the golden era days, Sir Alex Ferguson walking into the Emirates, walking into Highbury, taking on the Gooners. Those are classic. Tony Adams and the boys, the Invincibles. Fuck, man. God, that was a good season, though. That was a good season. But anyways, Arsenal. So, I'll be quite frank and quite upfront. Arsenal's not going to fucking win this. Arsenal are soft. They got a lot of problems at center back right now. Even if they were pretty healthy at center back, I still don't see Arsenal pulling this off. I look for a little bit of dip in form for Arsenal. I think something just doesn't feel right within the dressing room at Arsenal. They're relying a lot on Olivier Giroud and Theo Walcott to score goals, which that is sure to dry up at one point in the season, which is going to be a big problem, especially with Per Mertesacker, Laurent Koscielny, due to missed time. Per Mertesacker's out for a few months. Was it the center back from Villarreal, Gabriel? He's a little banged up, so their depth at center back is definitely going to be challenged. Callum Chambers is definitely going to have to fill in back there more than likely. If they haven't sent him on loan yet, I haven't really looked at all the official transfers. I haven't. I kind of know what's going on and what's not going on. But as for the Gunners, their big main summer signing was Granit Xhaka, the Swiss midfielder. They bought him from Borussia Mönchengladbach for about, 36 million pounds, 34 million pounds, somewhere in that range. He's a typical Arsenal midfielder. Great on the ball, good presence on the ball, but he's not afraid to go side to side all fucking game rather than fucking penetrate, be creative, and try to push forward. Now, he's a physical presence. He's a good box-to-box midfielder. Is he good enough to take Arsenal's midfield to the next step? Because Arsenal's midfield is pretty fucking good. It is their strength. I don't quite understand spending 35 million pounds and then you're trying to be cheap buying a fucking striker when you don't want to step up and pay for Lacazette. You didn't want to step up and pay for Higuain a few years ago. Who else were you? Who else you being? Yeah, the Lacazette. Let me just fly back here. There's a few here. Jamie Vardy said no to you. So you haven't had the best. You haven't had the best of off seasons, Arsenal. And a lot of their main players are getting extended time off, so they haven't really been with the team. And if Arsenal get off to a slow start with their soft mental demeanor, and I'm saying that in all due respect, but they do, man. Like, it is what it is. You know, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, especially with Arsene Weger's future up in the air as well. A lot of question marks could be coming from North London, and not from White Hart Lane. Now, a couple players I do like for Arsenal is a couple other youngsters. That Iwobi guy is going to be very interesting to watch. I just want to make sure I said his name correctly. There you go. Oh, yeah, Alex Iwobi. He's going to be very interesting. They're also saying watch out for Adelaide. Jeffrey and Adelaide. Another youngster who might pop up in the midfield. But their midfield's pretty fucking packed, Arsenal. You know what I mean? It's going to be fucking tough. It's going to be fucking tough. Like, Francis Conquelin's going to fucking have a tough time breaking into a consistent role in the fucking midfield. Like, they got a lot of fucking players. And they relied a lot on Francis Conquelin last year. But Ozil, Sanchez, you know, they're going to be up for it. But they're, you know... They're not gonna be in fucking fine form, man. They haven't fucking played together hardly. You know, at least fucking some of the other big squads in the Premier League are starting to pull back their main players and get them in the squad. Arsenal also has a lot of fucking injuries. Danny Welbeck's not set to return till the winter time, 2017, early 2017, December, January-ish. It looks like. I mean, January, February 2017, it looks like, so that's a big fucking loss. You know, and then you got Cazorla, Chamberlain, and Jack Wilshere all fucking coming off fucking injuries themselves and missing some extended time last year. So there's a lot of question marks. That's what my diagnosis for Arsenal coming into this season. Question marks. Question marks. And that's not good for Arsene Wenger. That's not good for Arsenal supporters. I look for them to finish 4th or 5th, if not 5th, and kind of fucking finally miss the Champions League for the first time and get a taste of that. And I tell you what, as a United supporter, it doesn't taste good. And you know who likes to see that is the Tottenham Hotspur. And we're going to move over to the Hotspurs, Mauricio Pochettino, White Hart Lane. They had a very good season last year, their best season in their history in the Premier League, finishing 3rd place. They just got clipped by their North London rivals Arsenal right in the last 2 weeks there. But that being said, they still have a talented squad, and they have the talent to push Arsenal down to 6th place. You know, Tottenham's right going to be in that conversation of 3rd to 7th, more realistically about 5th or 6th. And they have the talent to push Arsenal down. They have the talent to finish over the North London rivals. They have a coach who plays a beautiful style of football in Pochettino. He's definitely one of the most wanted managers in the world right now, I can tell you that much. Now, last year, he helped develop the likes of Dele Alli, Toby Alderweireld, Moussa Dembele got better, Harry Kane's excelled under him. Arsenal's got a plethora of young players. Mason coming through the ranks. They got the likes of Eric Dier, the young English midfielder that excelled in the Euro 2016, excelled under Mauricio Pochettino last season. You know, he got his start over in Portugal for Sporting Lisbon, I'm pretty sure. He kind of came up in their academy a little bit, which is kind of interesting for an English player. But he's got a lot of talent in those boots. He's very comfortable on the ball. I can see why he made the transition from fullback, center back up to a holding midfielder. Midfield position, that's beautiful. I want to see this kid progress. I'm not a Hotspur fan at all. I do not like him. I don't like Arsenal. There's something about the Hotspur I just can't stand. Just fucking can't stand him. As you see, I'm a true footy fan. But Eric Dier, I really hope he fucking progresses for the likes of the English national team. Christian Eriksen is he's a stalwart in the midfield. If you want to watch a really good footballer, watch Christian Eriksen. You want to, he creates something every fucking game. Sometimes he really doesn't work out, but he always tries, always creates. Beautiful set piece artist, beautiful foot, beautiful passer, scores goals. He's one of my favorite players to watch. I really wish United stepped up and purchased him. They got him pretty fucking cheap, too. I'm a big Christian Eriksen fan. I remember watching him in the under-21s for Denmark. Fucking what a hell of a player, man. So they have brought in the Spurs, Hotspur have brought in Victor Wanyama from Southampton. They brought in Vincent Janssen from AZ Alkmaar in the Dutch league. Now, I'm not too familiar with Vincent Janssen, but he scored 27 goals in 34 games for AZ last year. So, yeah, he seems to have a nice little prolific goal-scoring record, but the Eredivisie isn't even nearly as close as in talent and skill and competition and intensity as the Premier League. So he's going to have some guys make the quick adjustment, some guys don't. You know what I mean? I'm not too familiar with him. I'm going to go watch some video on him, kind of see really what kind of striker he is. Victor Wanyama. I'm a fan of Victor Wanyama, former Celtic midfielder, former Saints midfielder in Southampton. Played under Pochettino in Southampton. Very familiar. He's going to have a mainstay role with Tottenham in that midfield. He's really going to solidify things back there with Eric Dier. That also makes Eric Dier more likely to move around the pitch if they need to fill in the fullback roles or the center back roles. Eric Lamela, one of the I think is he the last guy from the Gareth Bale signings? They went and signed like 6-7 guys. They bought Eric Lamela, that Churchies defender, the fucking Romanian guy or whatever. They bought that winger. What was his name? He lasted for not too long. He might even still be there. Because Tottenham have a lot of players. I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see what Nabil Bentaleb's going to do. Kind of like this young player. Ryan Mason, Clinton NJ, he went back over to France. Chadley. Chadley's another one, so he's still around. So they got Chadley, they still have Lamela, they still got two of those guys that they went and made they made like 6 or 7 signings with the Gareth Bale money, rather than being fucking really smart and buying one guy for really expensive to replace Gareth Bale and maybe like 2 other guys. Like they should have brought in 3, maybe 4 guys with the Gareth Bale money. And one of them should have been a fucking big ass fucking transfer. Because, with their youth and their academy, they're pretty solid throughout. Danny Rose, solid left back. He's going to continue getting better and better. I'm not a Kyle Walker fan, but he's very consistent in the Premier League. He's always a mistake ready to happen, as an English supporter, fucking Kyle Walker. Not the biggest fan. I like Klein better in Southampton. In Liverpool. Sorry. Former Southampton player in Liverpool. I like Klein better, the Liverpool fullback. Much, much better. I like attacking fullbacks. That's why. I like attacking fullbacks. I do look for Harry Kane, though, to continue his growth. I think he's going to be a top 3 goal scorer next year. He is a poor man's Alan Shearer. He will continue to score goals. He's exactly what the Premier League wants in a striker. He can poach from the middle of the box, but he's not afraid to drop deep. He's not afraid to drop to the wings. He's got some good feet on him. He can pass the ball. Good crosser. I'm a big fan of Harry Kane. I'm glad he's developed the way he's developed. Fucking for many reasons as an England fan. But I look for him to continue to develop Harry Kane. They do need that Janssen, the Vincent Janssen guy, to step up and help him out because he's not going to be able to score everything. They're going to need Christian Eriksen to continue scoring goals. But with that all being said, I like Tottenham Hotspur to finish 6th place. Just behind the Gunners again. Just enough to fucking piss off the Hotspur fans even more. And I look for Mauricio Pochettino to move on to greener pastures at the end of this season. Tottenham is playing Champions League football this year, so they've had some good runs in Champions League football. They've had some disastrous outings in Champions League football. But that being said, that just adds some strain on them. They're not used to playing consistently over in Europe. They do in Europa League, but Champions League's different. Actually, like Europa, the Thursday, Sunday is much fucking tougher than playing like Wednesday, Saturday, or Sunday. You know what I mean? So they are used to it to an extent. Pochettino's played a lot of managed a lot of European football. So they could make I look for them to make a dent. I definitely think they're going to get out of the group stage. I don't know what their group is. We haven't seen it yet. City still needs to qualify. I think they're taking on like Steaua Bucharest or something like that. But anyways, it's enough with the Hotspur. We're going to move on to the citizens of Manchester. Manchester City. I fucking can't stand Manchester City. If it's not Liverpool, it's Manchester. If it's not Manchester, it's Liverpool. I can't stand them both. They're my favorite matches to watch in the year. 4 matches, if not more, a season between Liverpool and Manchester City is like fucking Christmas for me. Each morning I wake up to watch it. I can't, nothing gets me more goosebumps than the Manchester Derby the Manchester Derby, baby. It's going to be a good one this year, too. It's going to be a good one. Pep Guardiola definitely is going to want to put a footprint on Manchester. He's starting to get a handful of the players in that he requested. As I'm filming this right now, they just brought in Johnston from Everton, the Everton defender, the England international, the young kid. He's got very good feet, likes to play the ball out in the backfield. He doesn't like to play that long, direct balls. He's a typical Pep Guardiola center back. He'll partner him up with a little bit more solid, a little bit more physical, hopefully Vincent Kompany. That's what they're thinking. Defender, and just let John Stones kind of direct things down to the back. And you need that in the Premier League. You need it, that's what it's developing into right now. You need to break the counterattacks and stuff like that. You need to be able to move the ball from the center back position. But they've also went out and signed Leroy Sané, the young attacking midfielder from Schalke. Nolito, the Spanish international, that kind of opened some people's eyes for Spain at the Euro 2016s. Ilkay Gundogan, the Borussia Dortmund midfielder. Now he's got some chronic back problems. He always seems to get hurt every year. But he'll bring some spice. He'll spice up that rather dull, and I will say rather dull, Manchester City midfield. And I'm not talking about David Sevilla. I'm not talking about David Silva. I'm not talking about De Bruyne. They're the diamonds in the rough for City. If those two guys aren't chugging along, if those two guys aren't getting support, City's not going to win, because then Sergio Aguero's not going to get any support. Now, De Bruyne, he's excellent to build a team around. He's fun, the Belgian international. You had David Silva on his fucking right-hand side. That's a lot of problems. That's a lot of fucking problems. David Silva's only 30 years old. Still got a lot of soccer left. Sergio Aguero up top. There's a lot of goals in between those three. Now, when I say dull midfield, I'm talking about the other parts of the midfield. Just don't quite support those players enough. I'm not a big fan of Fernandinho, even though he's better than Fernando. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big fan of him. I'm just not a fucking big fan of him. Yaya Toure is not what Yaya Toure used to be, but he's still effective. He's very effective still, Yaya Toure, especially when his mind's in the game. Fucking guy getting upset he doesn't get a birthday cake or celebration. Come on, dude. Fucking one of the richest football players in the world. One of the richest dudes to come out of your country. Now, they won the Capital One Cup last year, finished 4th place. They got to qualify. I'm pretty sure they're playing like Steaua Bucharest or something like that. Nothing really to threaten Manchester City. They're definitely going to smoke show them at home. All they need is a half-decent showing away. And I'm sure they're going to get that. Now, they lost to Real Madrid last year in the Champions League semifinals. I still look for City to make a good run in the Champions League. They figured it out, which is, going to hinder them when they go one-on-one. They're going to go mano-a-mano with United this year for this title. I'll tell you that right now. It's City and it's United. They're going mano-a-mano. So them being distracted by Champions League football is a good thing for United. They are going to put in a solid run, you know. But I can tell you one thing. I'll tell you right now as we get into the football season. I'll support any English team in Europe. Any English team in Europe, not named Manchester City or Liverpool. So I really hope that they get fucking embarrassed and smoked. Kind of hope they get out of the group stage though and get it locked into a nice little little battle in the round of 16 and get put out. Just enough to distract them a little bit. You know, maybe even a quarterfinal. I'll let them go to the quarterfinal. Just enough to distract them for United. It's where it comes to, man. It's all about getting the fucking edge, man. But I do think they have a half decent. You know, if I had a gun to my head to be absolutely unbiased, they will have a half decent run in Europe. Pep Guardiola is a much better European manager than Pellegrini. He will take City to a new level, which is going to be tough for United. That's why it's going to be a hell of a battle, man. It's going to be a hell of a battle. And when Conte figures things out in Chelsea's going to be that much better. I think Conte's a hell of a manager. Maybe a little boring sometimes, but he gets the job done. I can tell you that much. And Liverpool's going to grow. Liverpool will be growing. Arsenal's in a world of trouble. Arsenal's in a world of trouble, in my opinion. Now, as I stated, so since I've kind of went through top 4 teams of last season, they got Manchester City plus 250 to win in the EPL. They have the Tottenham Hotspur at plus 900. They had Arsenal plus 600. And as I stated, they had Leicester City, the defending champions, at plus 2,800. Now, I think Manchester City at plus 250 has got some value. United sitting there, the next favorite, at plus 33. I'll probably be clicking on Manchester United just because I'm a United supporter, a crazy United supporter. They're probably my favorite club in the world. I'm not saying something because I'm a big Montreal Canadiens fan. But I'd probably be clicking on United just because, but I'm saying, you know, City's got a very good chance. You know, and I'd probably put City ahead of United if I was laying the lines as well. They got but it's going to be a fucking reality check for Pep Guardiola. At least Jose Mourinho knows the Premier League. He knows what to expect. Pep Guardiola's never fucking managed in the Premier League. Don't think he's ever played in the Premier League. He's in for an eye-opening experience, as Jurgen Klopp and Mauricio Pochettino have stated and stuff like that. He's in for an eye-opening experience. And if it doesn't get off to a good start, man, it's not going to be doesn't get off to a quick start. It's not going to be fun and games. He's going to fucking find out real quickly that fucking the snowball in the Premier League could fucking pick up steam, pick up volume very quickly. But that being stated, I do think they are a good bet, and they have some value at plus 250 to outright win the EPL this year. Man City, you know Aguero's going to score. You know they're going to create offense. Johnston's going to bring a little something to the defense. Pep Guardiola will figure it out eventually. Now the Canadian women are set to take the pitch against the German women in the Olympics. We'll see if I can pull that up. I've been just doing some research on the EPL. I'm going to go through each team and try to get it all done this week because the EPL is back on this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. United takes on Bournemouth on Sunday. We got, Liverpool and Arsenal on Sunday. We got West Ham and Chelsea on Monday. So as it stands right now, 3 o'clock kickoff, Eastern Time, Germany versus Canada, and the women's soccer in the Olympics, minus 163 to the German women, plus 400 to the Canadian women to take home 3 points, and plus 300 for a draw. Now, Canada's played rather well in the first 2 matches. They played really well. This is some of the best football I've ever seen these ladies play. Diana Matheson's back healthy. Sinclair's playing she's not playing directly down the middle. She's sneaking off to the right-hand side, allowing that Janine Becky and Fleming and all that to kind of come forward and Tancredi. You know, it's very interesting to see. Oh my God! Sinclair. It's very interesting to see Sinclair evolve at this late of her career. You know, it's very beautiful to see. She's playing some of the best football, I think, of her career right now. Janine Becky's fucking on fire. Their defense is kind of shored up. You know, they don't have their mainstay goalkeeper. But, was it Stephanie Alba? I think it's a little bit more French than that. Stephanie Elbe. Alabe. I think it's Stephanie Alabe. Stephanie Alabe, you know, she's stepping in as a pretty quality goalkeeper, you know. She didn't play last match, but I expect her to be between the pipes this match. The over-under in this game is 2.5. The over is minus 150. The under is plus 115. I like the over. I like the over in this game. I don't know, actually. That's just my initial thoughts. Like, Canada's been scoring. I haven't watched any of the German matches because there's just been so much stuff going on in the Olympics. So what do we got here? So Canada beat Zimbabwe 3-1. Canada defeated Australia 2-0. Germany and Australia played to a 2-2 draw. And Germany smashed the shit out of Zimbabwe 6-1. Germany's kind of spread the goals around. You got 4 or 5 players on the goal sheet right now. Canada's got 2, Janine Becky and Christine Sinclair. Last time these two teams met was in 2014, friendly. Germany took it 2-1. In fact, Canada's never beaten Germany. And all Canada comes away with Canada needs a draw, basically. So Canada's got, 6 points? So Canada could win or draw, and they clinched first in their group, which is very, 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 very important. But it seems that these girls are scoring a lot of goals. I kind of look for that trend to continue. I like the over in this game. I like the over at minus 150 in the Canada-Germany game. Canada's playing with confidence. Germany's Germany. We might as well go with it. What the fuck? Sorry about that. So we clicked on the over 2.5 in the Germany-Canada match, minus 150. I'll tweet out a little bit more of my bets later on. My sports plays, I'm sure I'm going to have more. You know, I'll break down a couple of these Olympic matches. We'll do some baseball. We got some CFL on the horizon as well. In my EPL season preview tomorrow, we're going to be going over Manchester United. We're going to be looking at Southampton. We're going to talk a little bit about the Hammers, West Ham, and we're going to talk about Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. Glad you could join me today. Remember, you can find my work on Twitter at KJ_theblock. Find my work on my blog site, kylejohnstontheblock.wordpress.com. And we'll let a little talking heads take you out.